Hello, KGC fans and listeners. Today I am joined by he plays with a talented group of guys and their famous song is 2 Dozen Roses. We'll talk about how he got to be with him and with that group and we'll talk a little bit about the Oak Ridge Boys in this episode. Stay tuned to find out what we talk about. Today I am joined by my good buddy, the keyboard player for Shenandoah, Andrew Ishee, however you say your last name.
We should have talked about that. It's no problem. It's Andrew Ishee. Yeah.
Ishee. Ishee.
Yeah, I would say Ishee. Ishee. Yeah.
But how
It's
you
an
doing,
unusual
brother?
last name, so that's no worries. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody outside of my little home area has it. Though I got to tell you, I was at a casino playing with Shenandoah the other night, and this guy comes out of the audience, and he tells me his name. His last name is Ishii. It turns out we're long lost cousins,
Really?
and his brother, I think he told me it was his brother, was a guitar tech for Diamond Rio, and I didn't know that. So I didn't know there was another Ishii that had been out on the road. And our monitor engineer with Shenandoah also used to be a part of Diamond Rio, and he was like, "Yeah, it was like Ishii." So it's a weird last name. You might not meet another one, but I don't know. A couple of us have been through the country music, roster here lately. But
So,
it's great to be talking with you. How's everything in Washington? Is it
dude,
is
it
it
is
cold?
it's thawing out.
Good,
I know.
good. I was in Ohio this week, and it was totally frigid. I live in Mississippi, and it was like 80 degrees last week at our house. It was so beautiful. It was warm. Everything started putting on buds, and then cold, really cold, but not like it was in Ohio this week. So do you get snow in Spokane?
Yeah, we get snow, we get the whole 9 yards, and yeah, I don't like the snow. I like it. I like those like festival concerts, which you're probably used to playing. Do you like the festival concerts?
I love to play at a festival concert. I like it when the crowd is right up next to the stage and they're screaming and you know tossing stuff around, having fun. It's just that's my favorite atmosphere for a concert. But a theater's fun because your gear doesn't get dirty.
Yeah. Has there how did so you said that you were born in Mississippi and
Yeah.
like I said, it's an honor to have you on the show and thank you so much. And how did the musical influence from Mississippi influence the kind of music that you play today?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I would play different if I lived somewhere else or not because um, my my musical learning came from recordings and not quite as much from my my environment. My dad plays a little piano, and he taught himself to play out of the encyclopedia. He learned like the do re mi's, and he could get a church hymn book and look at those shaped notes back when they would write them in shapes, and he could play a little bit, just kind of basing what he was doing, making rhythms and stuff on the piano out of those notes.
Well,
So he showed me a few chords, and I prayed to be a piano player. I felt like God answered my prayer because I got to do it, and started out playing with gospel quartets, kind of like you mentioned the Oak Ridge Boys earlier, and that's how you and I became connected is through them. I know we'll speak of that in a minute, but so I played in a gospel quartet, and then worked in a church for a long time, and I started traveling again. I had traveled on the road uh, many years ago, and then taken time off. I've got two little girls, and my wife and I have been married for a long time, and our girls are getting old enough that they didn't really mind if I came out and toured again. And so I started playing with this band called Daly and Vincent, and they're a bluegrass band. You know, yeah.
yeah.
So my one of my best friends, Aaron McCune, he and I were in a gospel quartet together a long time ago. And so I told him that I was looking to do something and they needed a piano player and he put my name in the hat. And so anyway, I started playing with them a couple of years ago and ran across the Oak Ridge Boys while we were out working. But the Shenandoah thing popped out of nowhere for me. A great friend of mine became their road manager, and then they hired a guitar player who was also just a super close friend. And I think they knew me, and then their bass player, Paul Sanders, he and I knew each other from years ago, having done some musical work together. So I just kind of knew some people in the band, and I got a good shot at it, and nailed an audition. So yay! But it is a super super awesome place to work. I
Yeah, and
love being with Shenandoah.
and talk to us a little bit about we'll talk about we'll talk about some good things, but when you play a Shenandoah concert, what is your type of favorite environment to play? Do you like a rodeo like the Houston rodeo, or do you kind of like a small intimate casino?
Oh yeah, casinos are fun. They're fun for the performer because they've got a little bit of that party atmosphere that you have at a festival. But when it's over, you're inside, and then a lot of times at a casino date, I get to meet a bunch of folks after we play on stage, and they want to hang around, and there's a place to hang around there. And so, like while loadouts happening and that kind of thing, I get to meet with folks and that sort of thing. That's a lot of fun. Sometimes at a festival, if we're on late, after we get done, everybody has to clear out pretty fast. And so sometimes they kind of clear out and you don't get to see people afterwards. But I don't know. I like them both. They're both good.
Yeah, when in the early music days of Andrew Ishee and you playing with Daly and Vincent and Shenandoah and all those guys, did you guys ever play in like a small little bar type thing?
No, because those bands, I joined them once they had already achieved their, phenomenal fame. Like Shenandoah, they started out as a small band, like what you're talking about, working hard together and, working hard, going to bars and in a van with a trailer
Yeah,
and setting their own equipment up and everything. And then they hit it, they had those big hits like, their big songs, Moon Over Georgia and Ghost in This House,
yeah,
Church on Cumberland Road, of
two
course,
dozen
Two
roses.
Dozen Roses. Yeah, yeah. I Want to Be Loved Like That. I, I don't know how many number ones it is. I read somewhere it's 13,
Yeah,
but I've read a conflicting report on that. I guess it depends on what reporting agency you're talking about for what certifies it as a number one. But
yeah,
I mean, what a what a great thing. So I'm really really blessed. I have not put that kind of work in with this band, but I did put that kind of work in with other bands and other groups. Because you don't start out at the Grand Old Opry usually. You
yeah,
know, you
and
start out playing for 10 people,
yeah, yeah.
and I've done a lot of that. Yeah, absolutely, I have.
So, who are your inspirations? Obviously, the people that you've played for, guys like Shenandoah and Daly and Vincent and the Oak Ridge Boys. But who are some of your other influences that people might look at you and say, you're a fan of that and would never expect of any?
Oh, oh yeah, probably everything that I listen to, they would feel that way about. Um, I don't. I've been making myself listen to new music lately, but when you're learning and you're young, I listened to a lot of old music, and I knew some gospel piano players who were just like really smoking musicians, and that field of music runs heavy on piano, and so to play it well, you gotta be a certain kind of player, which that really helped me out. You've alluded to it a time or two. You and I met because I filled in with the Oak Ridge Boys the last couple of weeks. Ron was out. Ron is a phenomenal piano player. Ron Fairchild. His dad was a phenomenal piano player. Tommy
Probably.
Fair, Fairchild, and I was a fan of his. I didn't know Ron, but I met Tommy. I don't know, 15 years ago, playing gospel music, and he was still doing gospel music. He just has an amazing touch at the piano, and I have albums of him at home with the Blackwood Brothers and with the Oak Ridge Boys, which I think is so fun that
Yeah, the
that
Oaks.
his son's been there like 40 years playing keys.
You
That's
know,
really cool.
and to give everybody an update on Ronnie Fairchild, I spoke with him a couple days prior to this interview, and brother
Yeah,
Ron is doing good. He is anxious enough to get back out, and
good.
he's
I'm so
hanging in there.
glad.
So keep sending prayers for brother Ronnie Fairchild. Ronnie, we love you, buddy, and you can continue to keep getting well, and thank you, Andrew, for sitting on him. Talk to us a little bit about what that call was to go out with the Oak Ridge boys.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know. I probably shouldn't tell everything all the time, but you know what I mean. But I gotta say, Derek Kinslow is their road manager, and what a great guy he is. He put my name in the hat for coming out, and then I had a good reference, for having been out with Daly and Vincent. So Aaron knew me, and Aaron was on the bus, and then I think it definitely did not hurt to be with Shenandoah because they're very well respected musically. Like they're musically deep and they have a very good band. So they're not going to have so they took a chance on me and let me come out with them in Key West, Florida. That's what I was going to say is that really they kind of took a chance because we'd never worked together and we did not rehearse any. And I think that's pretty common. Most of the situations that I've worked in, they don't get together and do a big rehearsal just because a lot of the players are well known to be extremely good, and they're either going to nail it or they're not, and they're probably going to. So we didn't do one, and I was a little nervous about that because the nuances of a live show compared to whatever I've heard. I've heard all the material like it was on the original recordings. Of course, that's what I know because when I hear them on the radio, that's what I would hear.
Yeah.
But like what happens every night in a show sometimes can be just even vastly different, and that's what you're going to have to pull off on the show. So I was just a little bit nervous, but they'd sent me some videos of shows and that kind of thing, and a passel of charts, and so I prepared for about 2 or 3 days before we went out and did that thing in Key West, and that was really fun. And I thought, oh, I probably won't get to do that again. That was a real nice honor, but so I was really pleased to get to go out for another couple of weeks, and that made me feel good because I knew that the band didn't hate at what I'd played, in Key West. They were like, "Yeah, you can come back and play with us again." I said, "Okay, good." And they are so super to work with, and just they make it easy because they're so good.
Yeah.
Uh,
And you got to play on the Opry was it Thursday night? And
yeah. I guess they call it Country Classics on Thursday night. It was really cool.
With Larry
That
Gatlin.
made my day.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a good night too. It was a lot of fun, and I played the Opry a lot in the last few years, and it had been just a couple months since I had been there. Shenandoah, my first date with them was at the Grand Ole Opry, and my first date with Daly and Vincent was also at the Grand Ole Opry. And anyway, so I was really tickled to get to play with the Oaks. That's one of four. They're on a list of 4 bands I've played with there at the Grand Ole Opry. That place is so special. So it was really nice to get to do that there.
And you got to meet a podcast friend of ours, Miss Danny Stefanetti, and Miss Danny.
Yeah,
everybody loves Danny.
She is a sweetheart. What a sweet, sweet lady.
Yeah.
From Australia.
Yeah. And if you have not checked out Danny Stefanetti live from Big Bear, I'd encourage you guys to go check it out on DannyStefanetti.com /merch and go pick you up a copy. Just go listen to it. But I gotta ask you something, Andrew. What's your favorite Shenandoah song to play live in a concert setting?
Oh, well, it's a piano intro on "Want to Be Loved Like That." So I guess I probably have to say that one. But really, "Moon Over Georgia" is my favorite one to play. That and "Ghost in This House." They're kind of slow and easy, and I like the licks in the songs are band licks. So like musically, they're really cool and fun to play. I know Church on Cumberland Road though is really fun too because it's really rocking. And we usually that might close a show or something because people love that. They're up dancing, throwing babies and stuff.
Yeah, not really. Does 2 Dozen Roses sometimes open the show?
No, we don't ever open with 2 Dozen Roses. I don't think. Maybe, but that's a big song, you know. Usually you save something like that, like Elvira, that's going to come at the end of the show, you know. And so 2 Dozen Roses comes close to the end there.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what's that crowd reaction when you guys start playing 2 Dozen Roses? What is it different every night?
They always stand up and they always sing the whole song. It's like a sing along. It's
Yeah.
so fun. When they get to the chorus, if I had 2 dozen roses, da-da, and the people are just they're screaming and singing along. And sometimes Marty he'll do the song again, just like the chorus, and just have the audience sing, like have the band play it soft, have them sing. It's so fun.
Do you have any funny stories from the road with Shenandoah?
Oh, I should have thought of that before you called. No, I don't think I do. I'll call you back. Let me think about that for a minute. I don't want to incriminate any of my friends. No, they're
Well,
wonderful, wonderful guys.
but while you think about that, let me ask you a different question, and let's what is it really like for you? Is it how spiritual could it get on the bus?
Oh, it could get pretty spiritual on the bus. Yeah, you know, I mean, you got guys that are just traveling around with each other, spending 24 hours a day together on a run that lasts several days. If somebody's going through something in their life, we're there for each other. You know, I tell you, I've prayed with a lot of guys out on the road. Marty Raven will pray for you, that's for sure. He's a very spiritual individual. You know, he's really tuned into all things about the Lord, and I see him regularly reading from the Bible. So yeah, things can get pretty spiritual on the road. Sure,
Does it when you are playing a set? And how long are normally your sets?
hour and a half.
Hour and a half. And you guys,
Generally, yeah. If
yeah,
you're on a big show like when we sometimes we do a show and it's Wade Hayes is there and Billy Dean. We played with Tracy Lawrence the other night, and sometimes we might be on something that's big. We were Scotty McCrary the other day at a big stadium thing. You know, your set might be shorter in a program like that. It might be 75 minutes or 60 minutes or something like that. But generally, like if we're just doing a regular standalone concert that's just us, it's an hour and a half. I think the Oak Ridge Boys show was 2 hours.
yeah, because they talk about like two times or two. But
Hey, they can do whatever they want, right? When they
yeah, they're
get
legends.
ready to get started. That's
Yeah,
right.
but what's it like, since you're a keyboard player and you've gotten to, play with these groups and hang out with these groups, what is it like meeting guys like Tracy Lawrence or Scotty McCreary or just having A-list people know your name by just playing?
It's really nice. It really is. It means a lot to me, and I don't take it for granted at all. That I know that that's unusual. That's not something that a lot of people enjoy as being part of their life. Um, and most of those guys, I don't think in fact, all of them, I haven't met anybody yet that was not really nice and enjoyable to meet, and it treated me with a lot of respect and was super kind. So that's really nice. I appreciate it. Nobody's been like I haven't seen any of them in a bad mood or anything like that.
Yeah,
But I'm sure they all have that.
yeah.
Everybody does.
And Andrew, I just want to say, thank you again for coming on the show. You are a brother for life, and we'll do
Oh,
this,
cool.
and
That makes me really happy, man.
we'll check back in here in about 6 months with you and see how everything's going, and just thank you again for being here. And ladies and gentlemen, please go to shenandoah.com to get
Yeah, Shenandoah Band. Yeah, Shenandoah Band. Yeah,
shenandoahband.com, and you know keep them in your thoughts and prayers as you should with everybody that's out on that road, because
yeah.
the road can get you know dangerous sometimes.
Hey, we got a new song, and you'll like it. It's called Revival, and it's really cool. It's the brand new thing from the group, and you can watch a video on YouTube of it, or you can listen to it on Spotify or just wherever you get music. And But I'd go watch the video. I'm in the video. You'll
Well, everybody go watch Andrew in the new Shenandoah Revival music video, and where can fans keep up with you, Andrew, not
With
Shenandoah?
me personally, yeah, probably the best way would be Facebook. Andrew Ishee Music on Facebook. That would be great, and it's spelled Ishee. But you can get on there and you can follow me on that music page, and I post a little bit there. I'm trying to post more there, and I need to get that tied into Instagram. I know I feel old. All my young friends are really into the Instagram, and I post just enough on there to be dangerous. So you can look me up on the Insta.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah, follow Shenandoah Band on there too, on Facebook, because the band puts out a lot of info, and Marty Raybon is singing so good, and I would love to know what you think of that new song. So you have to let me know, okay?
yeah,
Revival.
yeah, I'll text you. But
Thanks, bud.
Andrew, thank you so much for being here. Keep Shenandoah in your thoughts and prayers, and everybody go to shenandoahband.com. And Andrew, when Shenandoah comes, we'll have to do a in-person interview, and we'll have to hang out with everybody.
You better believe we will, man. I can't wait for it.
Yeah, buddy. So everybody, the KGC show, thank you so much for hanging out with us. And ladies and gentlemen, one of my favorite people, Andrew Ishee. Thank you,
Oh,
Andrew.
thanks, man. See you later, bud.
See you later.